If we wish to understand the psychology of happiness more fully, we must explore its concrete foundations. Happiness, as I have already suggested, is not an accidental mood, but the result of certain modes of living. To live happily is to live productively, and this productivity manifests itself in love, in creativity, and in the genuine relatedness to others and to the world. Love, perhaps, is the most misunderstood word in modern language. Many imagine love as possession, as a bond of ownership, or as a bargain between two people. But this is not love. It is merely attachment rooted in insecurity. True love is an activity, not a passive state. It is the act of caring, of giving, of affirming the life of another without seeking to control it. To love means to rejoice in the growth of another, to participate in their freedom, and to feel one's own life enriched through this connection. In such love lies happiness, for in giving oneself authentically, one discovers the deepest strength of being. Yet love cannot exist without discipline. It demands patience, responsibility, and courage. The person who loves only when it is convenient, or who withdraws when difficulties arise, has not yet learned the meaning of love. Love requires that we overcome narcissism, the constant preoccupation with ourselves, and instead turn outward with genuine concern. A society of individuals trapped in narcissism will always produce unhappiness, for no one can find fulfillment when locked within the prison of their own ego. Alongside love, creativity is another root of happiness. Every human being has the potential to create, not only in art or music, but in the daily tasks of life. To cook a meal with care, to raise a child, to solve a problem with imagination, to build something useful, these too are acts of creation. When a person engages creatively, they experience themselves as alive, as capable of bringing something new into the world. This sense of productivity is one of the deepest sources of joy. By contrast, when a person's life is reduced to repetitive routines, to mechanical labor devoid of meaning, a deadening emptiness sets in. Creativity is not a luxury but a necessity for the flourishing of human life. Another dimension of happiness is community, the sense of relatedness and belonging. Modern man suffers from a profound isolation, cut off from nature, from others, even from himself. He lives surrounded by people, yet feels lonely. He possesses tools of communication, yet remains unheard. Happiness cannot exist in isolation, for man is a social being. To feel connected, to share experiences, to participate in collective efforts that transcend the individual, these are essential to a fulfilled existence. A society that fragments individuals into competitors, that glorifies selfish ambition, will inevitably breed despair. But happiness is not only about love, creativity, and community. It also requires meaning, a sense that one's life has direction and purpose. Without meaning, existence becomes a series of disconnected moments, a pursuit of pleasures that vanish as quickly as they appear. To live meaningfully is to orient one's life toward values that transcend mere survival or comfort. It is to participate in the larger flow of life, to contribute in some way to the unfolding of truth, beauty, or justice. When man feels his life serves a purpose beyond himself, happiness is not fleeting but enduring. It is important to stress that happiness cannot be reduced to a formula. There is no simple prescription that, if followed mechanically, will make one happy. Happiness grows out of the authenticity of life itself. It demands honesty with oneself, the courage to face one's fears, the strength to resist conformity, and the willingness to bear the anxieties of freedom. To live happily is to live vulnerably, for one cannot love, create, or seek truth without exposing oneself to failure and pain. Yet this very vulnerability is the source of life's richness. The psychology of happiness must therefore challenge the myths that dominate modern culture. It must reject the belief that comfort equals joy, that consumption equals fulfillment, that conformity equals security. Instead, it must affirm that happiness arises only when man lives as a whole being, thinking, feeling, loving, creating, relating. Happiness is the expression of aliveness, not the avoidance of discomfort. If there is a science of happiness, it is not the science of engineering pleasure, but the science of cultivating being. It is not about teaching man to adapt passively to conditions, but about awakening him to his own powers. A happy psychology must be revolutionary, for it calls upon man to resist the shallow promises of modern society and to rediscover his authentic self. Only then will he cease to chase happiness as if it were an object to be possessed, and instead live it as a state of being. Please like and subscribe.